Application. Who uses this stuff? So the gross domestic product, GDP, of a certain country, which measures the overall size of the economy in billions of dollars, can be approximated by this function. So they give us this function, g of y equals 607y. And don't get caught up in why are they using g and why are they using y. They're just functions and variables, right? You can use f of x if you wanted to. All right, and it tells you where y equals 10 corresponds to the year of 2010. And then they want you to estimate the GDP to the nearest $1 billion in these given years. So I'm not going to work every one of these, but you should hopefully be able to see what you're going to have to do for 2004. That would be 4. And you just simply, everywhere you see that value, you plug in a 4. And so that's all you're really doing on these. This, you would be plugging in a 9. And then, of course, I make ugly G's and ugly 9s, huh? And then, of course, the last one, 13. So you're just using the same equation and just plugging in these values. So this is just a use of functions, as you can see with a real-world example. Where these can get a little bit more complicated are these piecewise functions. Okay, so you have to be careful when you read these. So this is the wonderful IRS coming after you, right? So the state income tax for a single person was determined by this rule. So this rule, each one of these, you have to look and see, are you in those intervals? So the first one I can see here, this H of 3020. So my income, $3,020, probably not very good, right? But I can see that that is in that interval, right? Because that's certainly greater than 0 and less than 6,000. So what I would use then is I would use the definition of that piecewise function based on their salary. And I get 120.80. And then continuing on with these, again, you just have to make sure that you are in the right interval. So let's get that kind of out of my way because it's in my way. Let's clean that up. And now I can see here that if I have 10,460, it looks like I'm in this interval. So I'm going to use this equation. And this is very applicable, right? Back in the old days when we used to have to do taxes by hand and look things up in a table, it was based off of, I mean, it still is, but everybody uses TurboTax and so on. It's based off of your income. And so I put all that in here, and I get $463, which you would guess you'd pay more taxes the more you make. All right, let's say you made $49,430. Well, once again, I meant to hit the eraser. I made that ugly, huh? Once again, 49,430 is greater than 12,000, so it looks like I'm going to use this last equation. And that's why they call these piecewise equation, is they're based on the piece. You know, in this case, it's based on the piece of your salary. 12,000, and whoo, that IRS won't take that money, right? And that's what I get. So these are just ways that you can apply using functions.